It began with a flicker of green across my porch's soft, alien glow that pulsed through the dusk like a signal from another world. I'd installed the smart LED bulbs a week earlier, a retirement gift to myself at 68, after decades of soldering circuits and sketching schematics in dimly lit aerospace labs. I wanted something whimsical, something Olivia House that could hum with color and dance to my whims via tap on my phone. I'd earned it, I figured, after 40 years of precision and deadlines. What I didn't expect was that my little rebellion against the gray monotony of Willow Creek Lane would ignite a war I never saw coming. The first shot came on a Tuesday morning, crisp and cool, with the scent of dew still clinging to the grass. I was halfway through my oatmeal when I heard the sharp rap at my door 3 knocks, deliberate, like someone announcing a verdict. I opened it, spoon in hand, to find Marjorie Henshaw standing there, her auburn hair pulled tight into a bun, her leopard print flats planted firmly on my welcome mat. She clutched a leather-bound notebook, her knuckles white, and her eyes narrowed at the faint purple sheen still lingering on my porch columns from last night's light show. Marjorie wasn't just a neighbor. She was the self-appointed guardian of our homeowners association, a title she wore like a crown forged in bureaucratic hellfire. "Elliot Grayson," she said, her voice clipped, "you're in violation of HOA Code 6.1c, subsection Exterior Aesthetic Regulations." She flipped open her notebook with the flourish of a prosecutor unveiling evidence, pointing to a highlighted line about uniform illumination standards. I blinked, oatmeal cooling in my grip, and glanced back at my house. The bulbs were residential grade, installed by a guy named Pete who'd been wiring homes since before Marjorie was born. Legal, safe, and dare I say it, pretty damn cool. "What's the issue exactly?" I asked, keeping my tone light. "They're just lights." Marjorie's lips pursed into a thin line. "It's not about legality, Elliot. It's about cohesion. This," she gestured at my porch like it was a crime scene, "looks like a carnival. We're a respectable community, not a sideshow." She tapped her pen against the page. "I'll need your installation permits and a full design schematic by Friday, or I'll escalate this to the board." "Permits?" I raised an eyebrow. "For porch lights." "For compliance," she snapped, shoving a neon yellow form into my hands. 48 hours. Don't test me." She turned on her heel, her flats clicking down my driveway, leaving me with a half-eaten breakfast and a simmering sense of absurdity. I could have complied. I could have dug up Pete's invoice, handed over the specs, and dimmed the lights to a dull beige. But something about Marjorie's smug certainty, the way she'd pointed at my house like it had insulted her personally, lit a spark in me. I wasn't just a retired engineer. I was a man who'd once designed propulsion systems that could outrun gravity. If Marjorie wanted a fight, I'd give her one she'd never forget. By Thursday, I'd hatched a plan so ridiculous it bordered on genius. I rummaged through my garage, past boxes of old blueprints and a dusty oscilloscope, until I found it, a relic from 2004, a mock-up I'd drawn up with my team for a safety seminar. It was a housey monstrosity, really designed to fail every code imaginable. A labyrinth of nonsense. A rooftop windmill powered by a hamster wheel. A basement bowling alley with a trapdoor to a non-existent wine cellar. A retractable drawbridge over a moat stocked with plastic flamingos. We'd laughed ourselves sick drafting it, and now it was about to become my secret weapon. I spent the night tweaking and tatting a solar-powered disco ball turret and a gravity-defying herb garden, suspended by invisible cables, then printed it on glossy paper, complete with fake stamps and a forged signature from a non-existent architect named Dr. Cornelius Flux. When Marjorie returned the next morning, her sun hat tilted like a general's cap, I handed her the envelope with a grin. She tore it open right there, her eyes scanning the pages, widening at terms like hydroponic skylight exhaust and emergency glitter cannon. For a moment, she froze, then looked up, her voice tight. This isn't real." "You asked for schematics," I said, leaning against the doorframe. "These are the latest I've got." She squinted, trying to gauge if I was bluffing. I didn't flinch. She couldn't back down, not with her two HOA lackeys, Greg and Linda, hovering at the curb like reluctant henchmen. So she tucked the envelope under her arm, muttered about further review, and marched off. I watched her SUV peel away that night, high beams slicing through the dark as she pored over the pages, phone pressed to her ear. She was calling someone, probably her lawyer or the city clerk she kept on speed dial. I sipped my coffee and smiled. Phase 1 was complete. Marjorie didn't waste time. By Saturday, she'd turned the community park into a war zone. A folding table stood at the center, stacked with HOA manuals and my fake blueprints. A megaphone propped beside it like a loaded gun. A banner fluttered overhead. Urgent HOA meeting. Neighborhood integrity at risk. Neighbors trickled in, some curious, some lured by the promise of coffee and donuts, settling into mismatched chairs as Marjorie took the stage. She slapped the blueprints down with a theatrical thud, her voice booming through the megaphone. "Elliot Grayson has submitted these," she declared, waving the pages like a battle flag. "A flagrant mockery of our standards. A moat, a glitter cannon, a hamster-powered windmill." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Sarah from 3 doors down choked on her latte. Old man Carter, who loved anything chaotic, muttered, "Sounds like a party house." Marjorie wasn't amused. "This is a deliberate attempt to undermine our community." I motioned for an immediate property inspection and city code involvement. The board hesitated. Greg and Linda exchanged uneasy glances, but Marjorie's glare won out. The vote passed barely. Inspection set for Monday. I wasn't worried. When the city inspector, a wiry guy named Dave with a clipboard and a permanent frown, arrived, Marjorie trailed him like a hawk. I gave him the grand tour, tapping my phone to cycle the porch lights through a rainbow. "Here's the infamous feature," I said, grinning. "No moats or cannons, I'm afraid. Must have pulled the wrong file." Marjorie's face reddened. "He's lying. He's hiding something, secret rooms, illegal wiring." Dave sighed, scribbling notes. "No violations here, ma'am. Lights are fine. Yard's clean. No windmills." He shot me a look, half exasperated, half amused, before leaving. Marjorie stormed off, already plotting her next move. She pivoted to guerrilla tactics. Over the next week, she photographed my lawn at dawn, noon, and dusk, once measuring my hedge with a ruler and fining me $25 for uneven foliage height. I appealed. The board dismissed it. She fined me again for excessive light pollution, citing a clause so obscure it might have been written in crayon. I paid it just to see her reaction. She doubled down, papering mailboxes with flyers warning of neighborhood decline. Her signature font, a Gothic nightmare straight out of 1995. Then came the citation, a crisp envelope accusing me of architectural fraud and malicious intent. Fine, $750. I framed it, hung it above my fireplace, and called an old colleague, Tom, now a zoning officer. "Is it illegal to submit fake blueprints for fun?" I asked. He laughed. "Not unless you're filing for permits. If she sent them to the city as evidence, though, she's the one in trouble. False reporting's a misdemeanor." I waited. Marjorie escalated, filing a city complaint claiming my house had unpermitted subterranean chambers. The inspector, Dave, again found nothing but my bonsai tree, named Winston, and a tidy garage. He left me a note. Complaint flagged for review. Bad faith suspected. The tide was turning. Then she crossed the line. Using her own email, marjoriehenshaw47@gmail.com, she filed a complaint in my name, alleging my house was a structural hazard. She didn't count on the city tracing it back to her IP address. When 2 officials knocked on her door that night, I watched from my porch, lights pulsing soft orange. Her voice rose. "It's a misunderstanding," but they left with her paperwork. Fraudulent reporting wasn't just an HOA slap on the wrist. It was a felony. The neighborhood exhaled. Marjorie went quiet, her patrols replaced by drawn blinds and an unkempt lawn. Whispers spread, rumors of her at City Hall, fuming or filing petty complaints about Carter's birdhouse. Then, one evening, a Tupperware appeared on my doorstep. Lasagna, no note, just her loopy handwriting on the lid. I stared at it, half expecting a trap, then set it on the counter. The next day, I saw her walking her terrier, No clipboard, just a tired woman in a cardigan. She waved a small, hesitant gesture. I waved back. Weeks later, the HOA dissolved. Carter turned his yard into a Halloween wonderland year-round. My lights became a beacon. Neighbors asked for wiring tips, and I helped Tom rig his walkway with glowing stones. Then Marjorie knocked again, holding a pie dish. "Apple," she said softly. "Thanks for not pushing it further." I nodded, invited her in. She pet my cat, admired Winston, and left after 10 minutes. A letter from Seattle arrived soon after. My fake blueprints had caught an urban planner's eyes, elected for a quirky housing project. I laughed until I cried, then called Carter. "Scale model," he grinned. Sarah offered to film it. Marjorie, overhearing at Sarah's bonfire, said, "I've still got the original. Could clarify the flamingo moat." We all froze, then laughed deep, real laughter. The neighborhood bloomed wild, messy, alive. Kids raced past glowing gnomes. Marjorie planted daisies, her smile softening. My porch lights synced with the breeze, a quiet hymn to a war won not with anger, but with absurdity, patience, and a community that learned to live, not just coexist. I filed the Seattle letter away, thinking maybe I designed something real next to me, a home for the weird, the stubborn, the human. Because sometimes the wrong fight builds the right world. If you were the one in this story, how would you react? Would you stand up and fight back, or accept the unreasonable pressure and control from the HOA? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with more people. Your small action gives us the motivation to keep bringing you more intense and engaging stories. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.